winner. Get on with it.
How do you edit him so he doesn't sound so chauvinistic?
In fairness, he's right. He's 100% right. I have brought you up right now.
Got a story to tell. Got a story to tell.
No, I don't think the girls were treated particularly different to the boys.
Why
Why
do you
not?
say that?
No, you tell me why.
I seem to remember a phrase that you once said, I started so I shall finish.
Ooh.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah. No, we're just waiting for you to finish.
No, I'll finish, you carry on.
I think girls will be treated differently than boys. It's just by parents they will be. Yeah, they have different needs. I don't think it's. I know that's sometimes that can be seen as a.
Sure, I understand what you're saying. They will be treated because they are different sexes. But what I'm saying to you, in the thrust of the question, it's not just the difference between a boy and a girl. What they're talking about is something far deeper than that.
Well, that's what I was going to go on to say. That it may be perceived as a bit of a loaded question, but they will be. They will be by default treated different because we have different needs. This is a predominantly male family, but it doesn't. The intention of treating them differently. I think if we speak at this point, it's not intentional that the outcome is different. It's not. We just have different needs, completely different needs.
Classic example.
Excuse me.
Males, my personal opinion, they tend to get tough love. Women, they tend to get nice and soft love, you know.
No, I don't think that.
Women
can.
No, because at the end of the day, no, I'm not saying they're not tough. I'm not saying they're not tough. I'm not saying they don't receive like an element of toughness, tough love to it. But the men obviously were groomed to protect, to provide, to do all the above for our women. Now, come on, man, you can't be getting no smudgy love and then trying to be a tough man. I get agree.
I think you need to rethink
I
your
don't
thoughts
think
because
it is what it is.
the women in our family are actually, I won't say tougher than us,
They're not.
but they're more, I don't even know what the word is.
They're strong-willed.
Yeah, they're more stubborn than us. We will reason quicker as men than they will as women amongst themselves, or even with us as men.
You mean they're
I
women?
didn't understand that at all. That didn't make any sense. I was just about to say that.
You mean they're women?
Yeah. You know, I'm just trying to bring some. So again, I don't think we're getting something. Shall we just move on?
Yeah. Throwing words out.
For the sake of conversation.
No, I think as a because it's a male-dominated family. I think the women have been weathered to be have the kind of traits that we have, and so it's perceived in a particular way. You know, you got to ask yourself if this family was weathered female strong, then the boys would come out with it. You know, there are families where there's lots of women in it, and the men come out a different way, and they might come out a little softer. You know, it's all depending on what the influence is in the family. But there's so many different aspects to say that can they you know, so many different things to unpack to say whether we treat differently or not. I don't think it's the case. I think the outcome just happens to be different for the reasons of you know, what's happening in the family.
Example. So if a female was to be under a certain amount of pressure, there's a bit more leeway in terms of say, alright, just take it easy. She's a female, they're a bit more emotional than men. You'd more give it a blight that they're going through certain things. If a man was going through the same thing, you'd say, what's the matter with you, Pansy? You can get on with it. It's got to be done at the end of the day. The way I was brought up was, if my wife chooses it or does not choose to help with to support the family by monetarily or not, then just get on with it. It's your job to support the family. Just get on. Don't start moaning about it. Move on. So, but whereas the women have the option to either go to work or, you know, stay home and look after the family, and that way inclined. No, it's your family. You're the breadwinner. Get on with it.
How do you edit him so he doesn't sound so chauvinistic?
In fairness, he's right. He's 100% right. I have brought you up right now. I have brought you up to be the provider, the defender, and he's absolutely right. I have done that. But at the same time, all of my children, all 8 of you, are very strong and are very confident, and you will hold your corner when the occasion rises. And that's just the way it is, and I'm very pleased for it, to be honest with you.
Where I would say there's been a difference, whilst you've been speaking, I've been trying to formulate in my head as to how to put it into words, but say for example, I started driving from the moment I was legally able to. Whereas I've always heard Mum put off Tony, who's only a few years younger than me, from driving until as late as she can. I've always gone out. Yeah. Ask Mum. She's put Tony off from driving because the protection element. I think the difference is that with the males in this family, we still have an element of protection, but it's from afar. So you allow us a certain amount of space, but still give us information that should be able to protect us. Whereas I think with the women in our family, it's more of, they've still got the same protection, but it's within a closer proximity to yourself and Mum. Do you understand what I mean?
From my point of view, there is a difference between how we are, not raised, but like loved or sort of pushed. The women are much slower than the men in the family.
Certain aspects.
In certain aspects to do things. I don't need to give an example, that's just what it is, they're just slow.
Yeah, no, I'd say they're more vulnerable, for want of a better phrase, they're more vulnerable creatures. I.e., if he was going out, creatures.
You've been hanging out with someone for far too long.
we are all creatures of God, anyway. So anyway, i.e., the Bible says that, so come on. Doesn't it say that creatures?
Is the word creatures in the Bible? Yes, absolutely right.
More vulnerable species. Is that better?
Species.
Yeah,
Species, okay.
Come on, we'd all agree with that. They're different species to us.
We want to hear the rest of the sentence before we agree.
Right. So, i.e.
My missus will watch this. I don't want to get in trouble. You agree to that?
Alright, check this. Yeah, check this. When we're going out.
Yes, they take longer. We know.
No. The guys tend to have a later curfew than the women. Yeah. If you took 2 brothers and sisters going out, and then the boy got beat up. Yes, alright, you got beat up, but you know, you still like, cool, fine. Alright, jeez, come on, pick yourself up.
Tomorrow,
let's go with it. You got work. Woman got beat up. All hell's going loose. Like your daughter, your sister, it's a female just got beat up, and what? There's a different approach. There's a different impact to how it happens on your family. Completely different.
I don't think there's a difference in terms of the time curfew, because the time curfew has been pretty much standardised. It's the ability to get back home. So for example, if you boys are coming back on the bus, there is a degree of flexibility because I'm more confident you can take care of yourself, right, on the bus. But if Tony or Francesca was out and had to get back by bus, then there is a time limit. They need to be back by that time limit. So you're right in that respect. But that's only because of my perception of vulnerability, even though statistically you're more likely to be attacked and harmed if you're a young black male rather than any other.
Yeah, but it's seen as like.
Yes, I understand that.
Just get on with it.
I do understand that.
It's more of a, okay, it's happened, but dust yourself off.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a woman, it's more of a, okay, let's try and stop this.
Well, if it was a woman, if it was Tony, if it was Tony who got turned over, right? Firstly, I'd probably be at the back of the queue behind you lot.
If Tony, Francesca or Celine missed the last bus home, Mum or Dad or somebody would come out and go.
Yeah,
Dad.
Yeah, depends on the time.
Mum doesn't get out for anything.
Alright, Dad. Somebody would have, let's just say we're younger than what we are now. You would have to get out of bed and go and get them. If one of the guys missed the bus, that's tough. You walk home.
Yeah.
That's not true because because I picture. When have we? Hang on a second. One second. Depending on what? No, 1 second.
I mean,
when have you ever called the house and said you missed the last bus home, and we turned around and said walk?
You want to go first, man?
I have to say, Mum did say walk, but I forgot who came from actually. I was at Old Colston. I started walking. It wasn't you. I started walking, but I think one of Mum and Dad came out.
No, alright, fine.
But it was said.
If Dad didn't want to,
it would never have been said to a female.
Yeah, if Dad wanted to, you could let us walk home, and he wouldn't. You know, you'd worry, but you wouldn't be as worried.
Yeah, women shouldn't be walking down dark alleys. Man, you gotta go down there. What are you doing? It's true. Tell me I'm not saying it's not true.
Just in your mind.
Just tell me.
In your
I'm not
mind.
saying it's not true.
No, I think the impartation has been the same. I think Dad has meticulously catered to people's needs. Everybody's needs have been intrinsically different, and that's what's been interpreted as being treated differently. But I wouldn't say that it's caused an intended outcome for the boys to be self-employed, the girls are to be either administrator or because Francesca, she still has an entrepreneurial spirit about her. Tony still has an entrepreneurial spirit. She hasn't found herself quite yet as Tony, but they both have a very much an entrepreneurial spirit about her.
As soon as we can understand and really get to know and talk to mum and dad, whenever we was doing something and we would try and say, oh, that's not fair, like why isn't she doing this and I'm doing that, Dad would be like, it's not about you having 50-50, she's this, that, and you're this, that, you're supposed to be this so you can take care of, and you're supposed to have this much strength so she doesn't have to use her strength. And it was more of a thing like we were grown up to be in the image of our father, our creator, of our dad, to take on his role and to pass it on onto and to show our future wives or whoever that we are, our father's children, and this is how we are, and that's how you can live and choose how it is.
Dad said that, and I know this to be true, and obviously we all know this, that Dad's expectation of us is to be the best in whatever we set out to do. That's no different to the expectation that the women have. In reality, Dad's expectation of us boys individually, it has to be different. There's no way his expectation of you could be the same as me and you, and it can't be, because we function in different areas. Do you see what I mean? So, and that applies to the women as well. So Dad's expectation, like I said, is for us to be the best in what we do. Now Dad might expect me to exceed in speaking or in running a design or something like that, and that's his expectation for me. You're not supposed to live up to that expectation, neither are you. And so we can't marry up our expectations just based on the fact that you're not doing what I'm doing. That's not the expectation. My expectation is for me to do my best. As long as I'm doing that, then the expectation is the same. Do you see what I mean?
Hold on. Yeah, I totally concur with what you said. You said to be the best, but you corrected yourself and Dad said to do your best.
Yeah.
As long as you tried your best, then that's the expectation. In terms of things around the house, I think Dad has an expectation in terms of the men and the women, whereas Dad will have us have the bins, do the bins over the women doing the bins, because it's a lesson for the girls to know that that's how they're supposed to be treated in their life. They're not supposed to be, the men in their life are supposed to be the guys that go
Do the dirty work.
go before them and treat them like
Open the door.
like ladies. So the examples were set in us for our sisters.
The difference between the females and the males is when I first became aware, because me and Tony are very close in age, so there was a point where she was actually stronger than me, and then I could never actually physically handle her because she was actually stronger. She was first, but then because we're built differently, we're men, we are physically stronger. It's not all about fun, I'm talking, just don't even worry about it. My physicalness took over, so now we got to do all the bins, the digging, the building. That is our role as men. That's been our role from the beginning of time. That's just what we are. And then the women look after us to help. It's just a teamwork. So the expectations of the women is to do all non-physical stuff, if you say what you're saying, and for the men to do the physical stuff. That's me. We're expected to treat the woman right.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But that's no different to the expectation for the woman to treat the man right.
Yeah, but there is different expectations of what you do in that role.
It's irrelevant. It's the expectation. Well, give me a pen and paper. I'll write down.
We don't have pen and paper, so use the air.
Use the air. The expectation is the same. Just suck it in and just hold on to
The
it.
expectation is the same. I expect you to be able to do. The expectation is this: do your best to be your best. That's it. Every single one of you have got that expectation. The roles that you play will be different.
There you go, that's the point.
That's it.
The roles that you have are different, but the expectations are the same.
No, yeah, sir.
You still struggling with that?
Give it a minute, it'll sink in.
I'll give it a minute. It'll sink in.
It's about being a good role model in the presence of others. And the reality is that every one of us are connected to this topic in some way, shape or form. Every one of us either have a father or are an uncle or have someone younger than them looking up to them, or they have a son or they're their sons themselves. All of us are connected to this.